It's good to see you. You join us this evening. Hope your morning has started well. And you are our only guest this morning. It's good to have a familiar face back. So before we start, just wanted to check in. We are going to record this, and I know yesterday we recorded. We didn't put it up on YouTube for our community because we were talking. You were asking your questions. So are you okay with us recording these? Are you sure? Okay. Yesterday we didn't. Some people have asked to watch them back because it helps them start their day with structure. And yesterday felt like we were probably giving you some coaching as well personally. So, but I think a lot of people would have got value from that, but we just wanted to get your permission. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. In a moment, I'm really keen to hear how yesterday went for you. And hopefully it was a good day and a good experience. But actually, do you want to share before we commence into our session? How did you go at your exam?
It was good. It was I had an hour to complete it, and he emailed it to us. So it was kind of stressful, but I went on a walk before I took my exam, like you recommended, and I found myself getting really stressed out during it because it was a lot of formatting errors. But I took a breath and I finished it and handed it in with 3 minutes to spare. So
Awesome. Hey, that's fantastic. And that's great that you remember to you said if you found yourself getting a little bit anxious, you'd catch yourself and you'd take a breath and you'd step back. Good on you. And how did you feel like at the end? We invited you to think about how did you want to feel at the end of the exam? Did you feel like you wanted to feel like you did your best? Oh, congratulations. So happy for you. And thank you for coming back today to share with us as well. That's been really cool to hear. So thank you. And I can see even Shalav as well as a student on the other side of the world. I'm sure that what you're saying resonates with him in terms of exams. So thank you. Very grateful and delighted that it was helpful for you in terms of doing that movement before and also remembering to remember. So thank you. And so to help us to become more present for this session, let's do our arrival exercise. So I invite you to make sure you feel comfortable and relaxed. And if you'd like to, please do feel free to close your eyes or turn your video off. Breathe. Breathe again. Smile. Relax. Arrive. Where you are. Be natural and open to effortlessness, to being rather than doing. Drop everything. Let go and arrive. And let's just take a moment to check in. So I encourage you to take out the app, the Cred mobile app. Just take a moment, first of all, to notice your energy levels. Don't judge, just notice. Are you starting your day with a sense of red, amber, or green energy? So Tamara, you've helped me move from an amber to a green just by sharing how you've gone and your insights from yesterday. And next, take a moment to notice what word or combination of words describe how you feel. Bearing in mind, these feelings can coexist. And it might surprise yourself that you can feel one thing on one side and another thing at the other side, which are completely opposite, and they can exist at the same time. So this is called an emotional labeling exercise. We're getting you to think about and choose the words that best describe how you feel at the moment. And by doing it, you're helping build out your emotional vocabulary and also build an understanding how you're feeling, and to be able to see some patterns and trends over time. So if we think about these feelings, these are the symptoms of things that are probably happening below the surface. And when we have this information, we can create some strategies and some actions to respond to them and not react. And finally, just take a moment to notice what's top of mind for you. What are some of the things that are just bubbling away, maybe at the surface, or just some thoughts that are popping in and out of your head. Just take a moment to notice what they are, again, without judging, and record them in the app. So today, I want to spend a moment just talking about connection. So we talk about the start of the Cred sessions about helping people navigate this time, feel connected, and build some strong habits. So connection is one of those things that can be often thrown around as a term that is just something that's maybe a nice to have. It's a desire. Maybe we've all got differing needs for connection. But I just want to read out this short passage about the importance of connecting. Connecting with humans is more important than you think. Social connection can lower anxiety and depression, help us regulate our emotions, lead to higher self-esteem and empathy, and actually improve our immune systems. By neglecting our need to connect, we put our health at risk. So it's interesting when we think about it, we actually have a need for it as humans. So my next slide has just been, I've taken Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you're familiar with them, and I've just put connection down the bottom. So there's a guy called Matt Lieberman out of UCLA who's written a book called Social, Why Our Brains Are Wired to Connect. And he talks about Maslow's hierarchy of needs being obviously important, but more emerging research talks about why we need social connection more than ever, should I say. And I just reflect back about the impacts it has on anxiety, depression, self-esteem, regulating emotions. So it's a need as opposed to a nice to have, I would suggest. So the example that he uses in his book, he talks about a baby chick or a bird that's born, and hatches in a nest, has a parent who goes and gets food. And if that bird can't form a connection with the parent, it'll essentially die. So we do have a fundamental need to connect. So I want to invite you to think about, how are you treating connection in your life? Are you treating it as something that I'll make time for at another time? It's a nice to have. I don't really have a need for connection because maybe I'm more introverted than extroverted. So I just want to invite you to think about, and maybe it's in reflection, or if you want to share, no pressure to invite you to come off, but if you want to talk about it, and if you have a view, love to hear what your thoughts on connection are, and how important connection is in your life, and is that need being met at the moment?
I think it's really important in my life, and I personally like talk to my mom every day, so that's where my connection comes in. But I also realize it's important to have like people that are around you, because my mom's back home, but I do try to meet up and hang out with friends at school at least
Yeah.
every day.
Thank you, Tamir. And we know it's difficult at this time because a lot of times when we have something like this happen, when there's a crisis or a disaster in the world, we want to come together as a group of people because we all band together and tribes come together. But we know that actually we do a disservice to each other when we do that now, because we're been asked to stay away from each other. And there was the term that came out at the top of at the start of the pandemic was around social distancing. And it's actually not social distancing, it's actually physical distancing is important, where we would need a social connection. So it's great that you have the connection with your mom and you call her every day and you're mindful of the support networks. But we just encourage you, and we do have the connect action, and we're doing in the service of others, but it also helps us as well. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go on and do our scan for today and think about focus, move, and connect. So just invite you, and you can do this in your own reflection, you don't have to answer. What do you choose your focus to be on today? Yesterday in the lead up, you've been on a calls now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tamira, and I know on Tuesday you had that sense of everything was moving online. You felt that weight of expectation and pressure, and yesterday you had the exam. So just think about, where do you need to put your focus on today? Is it maybe a bit of recovery? Is it a bit of just rest? Is it just getting some small things in place to tidy up towards the end of the week? Just think about, what is it that you need to put your focus on today? And maybe you still do have like some assignments due, maybe there's some things that you moved from earlier in the week to make time for the exam. But think about, if there was just one thing you could apply real clear focus to today, what would that be? In our next pillar of movement, then, we encourage you to move and be physically active for at least 30 minutes every day. So think about, if you've had a chance to do some movement today, or you said you did some stretching yesterday, think about, what is it today you're going to do to move? Is your body craving a bit of novelty? I know my default reaction after I've had like an exam or a delivery or something like that, I reward myself with like food or something like that. So I give myself a little treat, which means I need to move twice as much the next day. So I don't know if that's part of what you do, but I yourself a shot at as well. But that's how I reward myself. Which, as you get older, it's harder to kind of burn those calories off. But think about how you're going to make time to move today. And as we talk about connect, you talked so beautifully about connecting with your mother every day. And just think about, if you haven't had a chance to have that call today, how do you want to leave your mother feeling today? Or if there's other people you're going to connect with, and anybody watching this on YouTube, just think about the energy you can bring to a conversation and the difference you can have in someone's day. So it has just turned 1 minute past 11 p.m. here in Sydney, which is 9 a.m. I'm thinking just after 9 a.m. where you are, Tamira. And I'm sure you probably need to get into your day. We encourage you to just do a bit of reflection today. Keep on using the app. Keep on just reflecting, noticing how you're going, acknowledging and celebrating what you're learning, and hopefully you'll see the impact over time. Tamira, thank you very much for being with us. Really appreciate your loyalty to support us. Otherwise, Shylab and I would be very lonely here recording these sessions for no one. So have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Tamira. Take care.